Welcome! It is time for our gear video and the Q&As that were associated with it. So I'm out of my cabin today and it's the first time I put all my stuff in my pack in a while. I have pretty much everything in my pack that I normally would, except for food and the actual water that goes in my containers. And I also forgot my rain pants at home. So I thought I'd start with my gear talking about my pack. It's a Osprey Ariel AG65 and it weighs 4.9 pounds. That's with the top hat on it, and right now I don't have the top hat on and I will most likely not take it. It just tempts you to put more things into your pack. Ellen Baldridge and Tracy Leslett asked some questions about my pack. Ellen in particular was asking if I was checking out the Light AF pack, and Tracy Leslett knows I've been hemming and hawing and really said, why change it up if it's working for you? But if you do change it up, make sure you practice with it before you go on trail. So I'm at the moment just going to stay with the pack I have. I like all the pockets that it has. I like how it packs. It is heavy, but there's a trade-off there, right? So Chuck Bauer asked what the weight of my pack is. And I did weigh it once, and that was at the Open Arms Hostel. So I had my summer weight then, and it was 24.5 pounds without food or water. So I would imagine it'll probably be closer to 26 pounds probably with the winter gear that I've got. The scale that I have at home doesn't work very well, so I can't give a real accurate reading unless I get to where they have one of those hanging things that you can weigh your packs on it. I thought I'd just kind of cover what I carry on the outside of my pack, and the reason I like all these pockets. In this pocket I carry my water filter and my CNOC water bladder. In this pocket I carry my mesh bug netting and my bug lotion or spray to keep the mosquitoes away. I have a fanny pack, and in here I'll put my snacks as well as my phone and any of my personal belongings like my driver's license and that type of thing, and money. In this pocket I usually have food, but I may take a tripod this time for my camera, so that'll either go in here or on the side of my pack. I usually carry a water bottle, which is typically at least a half to 3/4, if not full. I have on the outside of my pack a water bladder, and I am going to go with the 2-liter this year instead of the 3-liter. You can see that I have, where is it? I have the piece that you can disconnect so that when I am filling it up with my water filter, that I don't have to take it out of my pack. So that's my water bladder. I have my Garmin, which is my SOS, and it also has the capability of doing some mapping, and you can text on it through your phone, so I like that. Hold on. On one side of my pack, which side is this? This is my tent poles, my tent stakes, and my liner for the ground cloth. And on this side I have my umbrella and my toilet paper bag. So those things I like to keep handy. In the back outside pocket I carry my rain jacket, and that's also used for a windbreaker. And then I have my rain pants, which I forgot this time, but I'll have that on the outside. And depending on the weather and how warm I am, I'll have this sweater, which has a hood to it, in the outside so that I can grab it if I get cold. On the back and I can show that a little closer in a minute, but I have my headlamp so that it's easily accessible, and I also have some hand sanitizer as well as my rain cover for my pack itself. So that's everything on the outside. The inside stuff, we're gonna go inside. I'll take it out. So let's get inside before I freeze. Woo! All right, so here's a close-up of what's on the outside of my pack. You can see I usually have camp shoes. These are Crocs, and these aren't the ones I'm taking. But I was debating between Tevas and Crocs, and I tried both of them on trail. The Tevas don't dry as quick as the Crocs, so I'm gonna go with the Crocs this time. You can see the zip pad. That was something I forgot to mention outside. That zip pad comes in handy in that when I'm at camp, I put that out right outside my tent, inside where the vestibule is, and I can kneel on it when I get in or get out. It just makes for nice, and when you're at lunch or something, you can sit on it. So let's see what we have on the inside of the pack. I usually start at the bottom of my pack, and that's because I have my tent inside the bottom. That's usually the first thing that you're gonna set up. But the other things I do have down here are my electronics bag. I like to have it handy. So in my electronics bag, I have the battery. So this is the Altiga. It is a 26,800 milliamp battery charger. So this thing weighs a pound. You might be able to get by with something smaller, but I find that I'd like the peace of mind in having this larger charger. I also carry cords. These are for the Garmin, the headlamp, and my phone. And then I'm carrying an extra cable for my phone because I actually happened to break the cord, and that was not fun. So I'm going to take an extra one. They're not that heavy. So weighs a little bit, but for doing the videos and everything, it's well worth it. Now in my bottom, I also have my Thermolite Reactor liner. This I use with my quilt. It's supposed to add 14 degrees to whatever your sleeping system is. So I sleep cold, so I do like having this in the colder months. It's probably overkill in the summer months, and I may end up sending it back home. But one of the things it does do is when you're in your quilt or your sleeping bag, it prevents the stink from getting on your sleeping bag. So that's nice, and you can wash that really easy compared to a down quilt. The other thing I have in my bottom part of my bag is my NEMO VECTOR sleeping mat. So this is the regular. The thing I do like about this is you don't have to blow it to get air in it. You just have to pump it with your hand or your foot. So I do like that. The other thing I have in here is my tent fly and my tent itself. It's easy to get to, along with my tent stakes and my tent poles. So once I have those out, I get my tent set up, and now I'm ready to get through the rest of my bag. I forgot the floor liner for my tent. So all of that is handy. It's all on the outside or in the bottom of my pack. So let's get going and see what I got inside. Here we go. So inside my pack, I usually have my food bag. I don't have anything really inside it right now that ends up adding weight, depending on what you're doing or how much you're carrying. Inside here, some people use a trash compactor bag. I just have a liner. And that's hopefully in case things rain really hard, the things inside here won't get wet. The things I have in here are some of my clothes. The type of clothes that I do carry are my sleeping clothes. I do have long johns. I have another top. This is a little warmer. Sometimes I sleep with this as well as my puffy, depending on how cold it is. I do have underclothes and then an extra pair of socks. I do have an extra pair of Injinji toe liners. Chuck Bauer was asking what kind of shoe system that I have in my hiking. So I do use my Merrells, and I have usually a pair of socks over my toe liners. I usually go with the combination. I did buy my gaiters. So these are from Dirty Girl Gaiters. I tried to find something that was a little spark, and I like their slogan. So I went with Dirty Gaiters, and that really is to keep out the debris from my shoes. I did find that when you got into some of the areas, the leaves and things ended up getting in my shoes, and I didn't like that very much. So I did change that up. What else do I have in here? Yeah, an extra pair of socks. So I usually carry for socks one pair that I'm wearing, a backup pair, and then a sleeping pair. So I do have 3 pairs of socks, plus I carry an extra liner sock with me. For underwear, I usually carry 2 pair and the pair that I have on. And I'm debating whether I need the extra sports bra, so that may or may not go with me. So that's my clothes, except for what I end up wearing. So what else do I have in my bag? I have my puffy. This is the puffy that I've been using. It works fine, so I may just take it. I do have another one at home, and it's the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer down jacket. So I will take one of those too, but I would recommend taking a puffy. It's nice for that extra layer. The other thing in here is my sleeping pillow. So this happens to be a luxury item. It fluffs up. This is an REI Thermarest travel pillow. It is the medium size. I found that when I tried the blow-up pillows, that just didn't work for me. So I find these pretty comfortable, and for me, it's worth it. What else is in here? For those cold nights. So this is from Enlightened Equipment. It is a hoodie that I can wear if I'm really cold. I do wear a hat if it's cold, but this is kind of nice. It's a down hoodie, and it weighs next to nothing. So in the winter gear, that comes in handy. What else? Let's see. So in this bag, I have more clothes. I have my gloves that I would typically wear. If I'm not, it'll go in my bag. I have my buff. The nice thing about the buff, and I'll carry 2 buffs, is you can put it up for the COVID, if you need something real quick to put over your mouth. And it's nice in the colder times to cover your neck. And then I have a t-shirt. And this is the piece of equipment that I'm not satisfied with. This is supposed to keep your hands dry when it rains. And these are the C-Pax Virtus rain mitts. So I've been going online, I'm looking for some other ones. I should contact Z-Pax because these are supposed to be waterproof, and I have not found that to be the case. So if you have suggestions, let me know. I'm getting ready to figure out what else I can use besides those. So that's pretty much it. Let's close. All right, now this is huge right now. I'm trying to pare it down. It is my first aid kit. I need things to cushion my toes because I tend to have problems there the most. So my issue is all around protecting my toes and cushioning them. But I'll be whittling this down a little bit. But that's my first aid kit. What else is in here? All right, my ditty bag. Some people will say you don't need it, but in here I have things like my backup water system. So these are drops in case my filter freezes or doesn't work anymore. I at least have a way to filter my water in some manner. So I do carry these, and I have it double bagged because while I was on trail, somehow my lid opened up and got it everywhere. So I have it double bagged. I have duct tape. I have some, these are called wet fire. So these, if you want to get a fire going, are helpful. I have waterproof matches and a lighter. So that's what I have in here. This I may or may not take. I don't usually make that many fires, so hopefully other people have what it takes, but that is something I might take. The other thing I have is string. I'm definitely taking the string. So when you're on platforms where you have to set your tent up, I do have a freestanding tent, but the tent stakeouts, you need some sort of line to do it, so that works. And I like these little Gumby orange flexible items. You can attach it to things and they stay, so those are kind of nice. And if I break my pole, that's what that's for. And then for backup items, I have a smart water top. I've broken those before. I have a backup mouth nozzle for my water bladder. I have something to clean my water bladder with. And then I have a little duct tape and some extra hose in case I need it, and some fittings. So that's pretty much my ditty bag. That's something that can change up a little bit. Now, for my sleep system, I have a event compressible bag that I put my quilt in. It's nice, it compresses it down a lot. The quilt that I have is an Enlightened Revelation quilt. It's 950 Loft, and it's 0 degrees. And I need every part of that rating because I sleep very cold. So I like having that. And then I use this with my liner when it's cold. But it's nice. You put it around your sleeping pad. It's got the straps for doing that. And then you snuggle right in there. 0 degrees. I think I need that is everything in my bag. Let's get to some of those questions. Gypsy Girl's question. She's asking if I would end up deciding to change my shoes, and maybe for some trail runners along the way. I'm not against it. I am hesitant because I don't know how my feet will do. I know what I get with the Merrells, but if I get into a town and one of the outfitters convinces me to try trail runners, then maybe I will. I may try it, but starting out, I'll start with my Merrells. Gypsy Girl asks, what ideas, changes, or thoughts do you have about your winter gear setup, like crampons, a warmer bag, etc.? So like I said, the bag that I have, it's 0 degrees. I don't know if you can get any warmer than that. And I have the liner, so there's nothing I'm gonna do around my bag. The crampons is the one area that I'm not sure of. So if you have some suggestions, I'm starting in April down in Georgia. Do you think I need to have crampons? Let me know what you think. I'm really interested in knowing. Gypsy Girl also asked, is there any changes to the gear like a lighter pack, better rain gear, headlamp, bigger battery, cords, etc., etc.? So the lighter pack we already talked about. Be nice, but I don't think I'm going to do it. The rain gear I'm pretty satisfied with, except for the gloves. So if you got some really strong evidence that they are waterproof, whatever you have, let me know. Headlamp. The one thing I'd like to do on the headlamp is get like a stretchy band instead of the band that it came with, and that'll lighten the load a little bit, and I don't need all that heavy duty band. It's not that comfortable anyway. And as far as cords go, I'm definitely bringing a backup phone cord. Gypsy Girl also asked, is there anything that didn't work well the first time around? So I had to replace a few things. I replaced my CNOC water bladder, but that really was my fault. If you look at the pack, I carry the CNOC water bladder inside here. And when you take it in and out, if you're not careful, you're going to hit the zipper part of this. And I think that's what, it was just rubbing too many times along that zipper, and I was starting to get a hole in it. So the CNOC water bladder I had to replace, but that was my own fault. What else did I replace? Poles. I didn't even talk about poles. All right, I'm not going to go on trail without poles. So I started out on the long trail with these black diamond poles, and you can see this one's pretty bent. I fell on the long trail. So these are like a backup pair. If I ever go hiking with somebody that doesn't have poles, they could end up with them. And I think Tina used these in the Shenandoahs. I did then get some Leckies. They're the Cressida, and these are the anti-shock. Now, these I had to get repaired, so you can see the difference between these. One's newer than the other. I took it back, great warranty. They replaced the bottoms of these. The anti-shock wasn't working anymore, and it totally broke. So they replaced that for free. So these are really my backup pair and not the ones I'll be starting with. So the poles I will be starting with are Leckies. They are also the Cressida. They are not the anti-shock. So these are the ones I'll be starting with. What else did I change? I had that cord that broke, so I'm definitely bringing an extra of those. Oh, I had a wallet I can show you. In my fanny pack, I usually put my money and credit cards in here for water protection and for safety keeping. So the zipper on my other one broke. These come from C-packs. So I got another one. I do like it. It just, the zipper broke. I hope I have answered all your questions. If you have any other ones, don't hesitate to put them in the comments and I'll get back with you.